I was thinking about this the other day as I was driving, and I was like, something now that is widely accepted is circumcision.
Okay.
Something that I feel like maybe in 20 years, 30 years, people are gonna look back and be like,
So
"I
you were
can't
thinking about
believe."
circumcision as you were driving?
What audiobook were you listening to? Oh my god. Welcome to the Cookie Bookie Club. We are all together in
Yeah.
Wisconsin. We
Woo!
are woohoo ready to talk about The Correspondent by Virginia Evans.
Yes.
So this was our May
Mhm.
book club book. It was a
Mhm.
good pick.
Mhm.
I think we'll
Yes.
have lots to talk about. A very hyped up book. So
Yes, very popular.
yeah, do you think it lived up to the hype?
I think so, but in like it lived up in the hype in ways I didn't expect.
Okay.
Like I think the writing and the characters were really good, and I think I mentioned this before, I wanted it to make me cry,
Mhm.
and it did not make me cry. There were like moments where
Yeah.
I was like,
Mhm.
but did not give me the sob I that was hyped that it would.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't an ugly crier for me, but
Mhm.
there were definitely moments that I was choked up. Um, this book it's unique because it is all letters.
Mhm. There's
Um,
a word for it.
yes, I know, epistolary, but
Let
I'm
me
not sure if I am pronouncing it right. Let me see. Epistolary.
Yeah, epistolary.
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 Yeah, epistolary. Yeah, it's an epistolary novel.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So what did you think of that format?
I like it, and it kind of reminds me of plays. Because if
Mhm.
you read a play,
Mhm.
it's a different format of writing, but you can still like just fall into the story.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because some of the reviews that I've seen where people don't love this book,
Mm.
it is because they don't like the format
Mhm.
or because they don't like the main character.
Oh.
Yeah,
Mm.
but we'll talk about that
Okay.
after we do our spoiler free.
Yes.
The author, I said this in our last podcast, our May reading roundup. Um,
Yes.
But the author wrote this book because she was frustrated after her, like, 8th or ninth book got rejected. She was just trying to write something that what's the word I'm looking for?
Like a palate
Yes,
cleanser.
she was trying to just
Yeah.
write a palate cleanser, something no one would see, and then this ends up being her first published book.
And pops off.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
All, like, word of mouth.
very popular.
Mhm.
So, do you think that brings it to like because she didn't care,
Right.
Yeah.
this was just her inside coming
Yeah.
out, getting down on paper, whereas the other books, it's like, okay, I want this published, this
Mhm.
would be,
Mhm.
where this is her.
Right, yeah. I think that happens so much in many things in life,
Mhm.
is
Mhm.
Or
like
like
the minute that you
athletics.
stop the
Yeah.
minute
Mhm.
that you're not in your head about it, then
Mhm.
it all
Mhm.
kinds of falls into
Yes.
place.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the woman that inspired her to write this book, I watched an interview where she had this sounds very Sybil also because she wanted
Like
this
Gracie
house.
Sybil?
No, no, no. Sybil in the story,
Oh,
you
okay.
know?
Oh, I thought she was like labeling Sybil too, like
No.
crazy Sybil or regular
Right,
Sybil.
yes. No, like a woman who sees what she wants and she's gonna find a way to get it.
Mhm.
She was interested in this house and it was already owned by somebody. And she went and met the owner and asked her to sell her the house to her.
This
And
is the author did this?
yes.
Okay.
And
Oh, the
then
author did this?
yes.
Oh.
And the homeowner was such this character. She was an older woman and like she was very like high class, kind of the way she carried herself. And as they were kind of going through the house and chatting, just like she would leave these little breadcrumbs about her life that was so fascinating.
Oh,
So
wow.
she
Mm.
found just
Like
her as
aura?
yes,
Mm.
and just the whole idea of this person was just very fascinating. And so that was kind of what inspired the character of
Mm.
Sybil. And that very much reminds me of grandma.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Just somebody who carries herself very well and
Mhm.
then will just kind of say something like, "Oh, yes, and then this happened." And it's like, "What?"
Yeah.
Um, so the book is now already being made into a movie
Yes.
starring
Yes.
Jane
Yes.
Fonda.
Yes.
Yes.
7 studio bidding war.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
crazy because I also can't imagine this as a film because it was a
yes.
episcopal what is it?
Epistolary?
It was an epistolary book, like, I can't
Yeah.
picture that as a film, but it's they'll probably take a lot of, like, freedom with instead of, like, having so many letters, it's just gonna kinda be, like, some letters here and there, and then mainly kind of the
Mhm.
view that you got from the letters.
That's true because like you had said, the Guernsey Potato Peel
yeah.
Pie Society Club,
Uh,
whatever that book is called, is also in this format, correct? Like
Mhm.
totally
mhm,
all
Yep.
letters.
Mhm.
And I love that movie. And I
mhm,
feel
Oh,
like
and I've never watched the movie,
it's
but I
so
read the
good.
book.
It's so good. And like letters do play a part in it, but there's so much outside of it. So
yeah,
so it does feel like a good opportunity to kind of see the whole.
Because she says in her letters things that happened when they were
Mhm.
younger and stuff like that. So those letters might not come out in correspondence. They would just be like what actually happened in real life because she's talking about what happened in
Mhm.
real life.
Yeah, yeah. Right, yeah, so Jane Fonda, I don't know if I picture Jane Fonda as Sybil.
Well, I was at first when I heard Jane Fonda was going to do it because at the part of the book I was in, she was 73. And I'm like, Jane Fonda's a lot older than 73. This is a 73-year-old woman, which I have to say, they are making a 73-year-old woman seem extremely old. And I'm too close to be considered extremely old.
Okay, you still got a
God.
little while
Yes,
till you're
but Greg has
73.
already gotten there,
Okay,
so
Mm.
but okay, he's, like, literally in the other room. But Greg does seem so
I
much
know.
younger than
Yes.
his
I
age.
think and I
He's
think
not a real 70-year-old or however.
yeah, 73.
He is
And
actually 73?
he might be 74 now.
Might. That's your
Yeah.
Yeah,
husband.
he does not give off 73, 4, or
Yeah.
Oh, I pictured, like, the fairies in, Sleeping Beauty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I pictured Sybil,
Oh,
as, like, one of
yes.
the
Wow.
fairies.
Yes.
Okay, that's
Yeah, like,
funny.
that was kind of
Especially
in my
because there
head.
was a little grumpier
Yes,
fairy.
yes, yeah,
Yes.
exactly
Yes.
that one.
Okay,
Yes.
that's
Yeah,
funny. I
yeah.
pictured more like Helen Mirren. How do you
Yeah,
say her name?
Helen
Who's
Mirren.
that?
She was in that
Mhm.
1923.
But
I didn't
she
watch that.
She's
see that
so good.
but that would be a Jane Fonda kinda Helen Mirren. They're
Right.
both kinda thinner, they have the whiter hair.
Yeah, but Helen is like she's such a good actress and she also just she
I don't
carries
trust
herself
her.
very well and then is also very
Mhm,
strong.
mhm.
Yeah. Oh, cute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
she's
so
been in
cute.
some kinda, like,
She had pink hair.
thrillers, thrillers
Okay.
and I think she also plays in, like, a detective series where, um, they're in, an old folks home, and she's ex-CIA.
We're not gonna figure it out.
No.
I've read the book 3 times.
Is that the book that you, like, didn't know that you
I'm
read
like,
it and then
"It's
you
so
got
familiar."
partway through?
Yes, and then it
And
became
you
a book club.
and you know what is
Wait, the
so
Thursday
funny?
Murder Club? No.
Yes, that's
Oh,
it.
okay.
Oh my god. And
Sorry.
you know what is so funny is that you're always panicked that there's too many books out there for you to read in so little time.
Yes.
And here you are accidentally reading a book 3 times. Like that is not going to help your case.
Oh, that's so funny. Mom, I read this and I thought this was so something you would love to hear. So because of this book, this therapist was inspired to do a 26 letters for 26,
Oh,
Oh, cute.
correspondence
yes.
thing. And then it turned into this whole club. Like now it's like this correspondence club
Okay.
of people. I don't know. But
Oh.
just
I also, someone had told me that she went to the post office the other day, and they were out of stamps. And I was like, I
Wow.
wonder
yes.
if
Well, I
people
was
are,
gonna
like,
ask.
starting to
Mhm.
write letters more, if they, like, read this or whatever.
Well, a funny aside is that um I was watching something, like one of the interviews, and they were saying how so many people have said that they started writing letters because of
Mhm,
the book,
mhm,
and how there are so many the younger
mhm.
generation, I guess, does not know where to get stamps.
Oh, wow.
Because it's like, when do
They
they
have
write?
never needed
Yeah,
one,
it's like, oh
Yes.
gosh.
Oh, that's
Yes.
funny.
But yes, the
And
post office, in case you didn't know, or
and
And
Costco. Yeah,
Jewel-Osco.
Costco.
and, because letters to Santa, you didn't need a stamp, you could just put them in the special
Because of the
Yes,
mailbox.
magic.
it
Yes.
magically goes
Yes.
to Santa,
Yes.
which is
Yeah.
great.
It's just,
Yeah.
did this inspire you to write? Or like, I guess, when was the last time somebody wrote you a letter or something that, you know,
Yeah.
made you
Well,
think?
unfortunately, they've been,
I'm so scared.
I know. I was gonna say, unfortunately, they've been thank you cards after a funeral,
Oh,
Oh, okay, yeah.
because you go to the funeral and
mhm.
make a donation or whatever, and
Mm,
then they thank you for coming and stuff. So that's the only well, I got so those have been more prevalent, I think, lately. But then, of course, now we've got save the dates, but it's not
yeah.
actually
Right,
handwritten like the
yeah.
Right.
funeral ones are. The funeral ones are always
Mhm.
handwritten. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, like, my kids will get things from their teachers, like, in the summer, or, like, Ellie one time got, like, in the middle of summer, a note came from, this is when she was in speech, and it
mm.
was an article torn out of a magazine about a turtle because she loves
Aw,
Oh,
turtles, and it
yeah.
was
oh,
just like her speech teacher, "This made me think of you. I hope you're
Aw,
having a great
oh,
summer." And it's like, it does just hit different when
yes,
yeah.
somebody takes the
yes,
time to
yes,
actually sit down, write it, go to the post office,
yes.
or Jewel, and get a stamp and
Yeah.
Yeah,
mail it out.
I so agree.
Yeah.
I so
The
agree.
last ones that I've so my friend lived in Philadelphia for a little bit, and she sent me, like, a letter, for I think it was, like, Taiwanese like, New Year or something,
Oh,
so she sent me that and, like, a photo of her and her cat, and then for our first anniversary, I wrote Christian a bunch of letters, like, handwritten, and he
oh.
keeps them in his backpack to this
Okay,
day.
now I'm gonna cry.
Oh my gosh.
Didn't cry at the
I
book, but
know.
I'll cry on something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's cute, and then the second year, I, like, wrote him I don't know if it was a poem or a note, but I wrote him something, and then this year I forgot, so
Oh, no.
Now, has he written you anything? Or
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
No.
Tom and I wrote each other,
Mhm.
like, something before we got married, like, to when we were on our own before the
Oh,
ceremony
yeah,
to
that was
read.
so
Yeah,
cute, I
so
remember that.
so mom and I were just talking about, so the Correspondent has blown up,
Okay.
also Yesteryear.
Okay,
Mhm.
yes.
All of these kind of first debut novels about things that pull you back in
Oh,
time.
okay,
Yes.
Because
retro.
yes, well,
Mhm.
I kinda have my own theory about why these books are huge cultural phenomenons right now,
Mhm.
and I think it is because, like, the world is progressing to be, like, less human and less human, with
Oh,
Mhm.
AI
okay,
and
yeah, yeah,
everything,
yeah, yeah.
and we're craving these, like, connection and
Human,
yeah,
yeah.
like,
Mhm.
just getting your hands dirty in
Yeah.
life,
Mhm.
and,
I think
yeah.
that's truer for this one. I think yesteryear is blowing up because everybody hates trad wives.
Yes. Yes, but trad wives is a thing
I know,
Are
because
it's
they
so
angry
crazy, yeah.
women then? Yes.
Did you finish
No,
yesteryear?
I'm on chapter 3.
oh, okay. Oh gosh.
Okay.
Yeah, we can't wait
Uh,
to talk about it. Yeah.
Yes.
So I guess just overall thoughts. I really liked The Correspondent. I feel like I would have liked it less if I didn't have someone that I knew I was going to talk to about it because I feel like there's a lot of
Okay.
things that I was like, "Oh, I wanna
Mhm,
talk
mhm.
about that and talk
Yeah.
about that." If I was just kind of on my own, I don't know. I also, like I said before, I did the audiobook, which I think I preferred a lot more than the actual hardcover. Just being able to hear the different voices and the emotion behind them. Yeah.
So I also liked it. The only thing I was very worried about her blindness and going
Mm.
blind.
Oh,
And I think probably because
That's
that
not a
is
spoiler because you find it out like
yeah.
chapter 1 or
Okay.
2.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Phew.
Yeah. But that's
Be-
a huge fear of yours.
yes, a
Yeah.
humongous fear of mine. And then also that book Mona's Eyes, which
Mm.
that also has the element of a girl going blind.
Mhm.
So that's kind of weird that uh, you know uh that I'm kind of picking blindness things,
Is
It's like
that
yeah,
scaring you
yes,
even more? She's like,
yes, yeah.
"Uh-oh."
So but
I loved it. I love Little Sybil. I also it was such a quick read and I kept like cuz I read on my lunch break and so I would like be like okay, one more letter and then I would get to
Mm.
that and I'd be
yes,
like okay, well this is a small letter. And
yes,
then like just like keep going like
yes.
that. So it definitely like drew me in and I really liked all of the characters. Um yeah. Are we doing cookie ratings at the top?
So, yeah, we can do cookie ratings because
Okay.
then we'll go into actual cookies because I forgot
Oh,
to eat our
perfect.
cookies.
No, I've been looking at them.
Yeah, yeah. I think I did what did I do?
You did just the crumbs left, I think.
Yeah, just the crumbs left
Yeah.
for the correspondent.
Come back to me.
All right. It's gonna be short, but okay. I did full cookie. I loved her.
Okay, back to you.
See?
Okay. Well, then I'll do it more like
She's trying to find it in between just the
I
crumbs
know.
left and a full cookie.
well, I'm kind of thinking it's more than 4 bites, but less than a full cookie for me.
So
Okay.
like just the crumbs left, maybe.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
She just
Or
didn't
do you think
yeah.
Just
there's
a
a
little
little
bit in the
or there's a
finger.
little
A
okay.
holder.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have
Yeah.
a holder. You
Yeah.
have a holder
Yeah.
Yeah.
left. Yeah.
Well, the only other thing I wanted to say, something I wrote down just overall about this book was I felt like it was very much about the best of people have the worst in them and the worst of people have good in them. Like that was kind of a theme I felt.
What?
Yeah. You lost both of us on that one.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god.
So I felt like throughout the book, a theme was that good people have some, I can't even say it now without like laughing, have like some bad in them, and
Yeah.
then people that we think are bad have some good in them.
Mhm.
So it's like,
People aren't all good,
right,
all bad.
Mhm.
They
right.
have
Mhm.
Which I think
yeah.
sometimes like the negative reviews of this book, the people that didn't like Sybil,
Okay.
sometimes people really want someone that's just perfect in a book, like
Mhm.
just someone to really root for that
Yeah,
doesn't, but
Okay.
that's not reality.
for
Yes.
sure.
But okay, we're going to get into cookies.
Yeah.
So if you haven't
Wait,
read the book yet and you want to save yourself, you can stay for the cookies and then, press pause, come back to us later.
yes. But I also did we go over the synopsis of this?
No, we
No.
did not. So put the cookies down.
Okay, the synopsis of this book, just in case you're thinking of picking it up, you're not sure yet. This goes through the life of Sybil through her correspondence with other people, and you get to see how different she is based on who she's corresponding with and like see her life through that lens. And we have the special edition
It's so
book, which is like
pretty.
super cute. And on the back, so there's not like a You know how, like, when you read the
Mhm.
back of a book, it has, like, a
Mhm.
description? There's not a description, but there is a quote from it that kind of, like, sums it up, which is, "Isn't there something wonderful in that, to think that a story of one's life is preserved in some way, that this very letter may one day mean something, even if it is a very small thing to someone." So I think that
Mhm.
kind of, like, sums up the essence of it to, like, see how your life can be documented through letters because there is no other form here. And like,
Just email.
but that's like a
Yeah.
letter. Like there's no
A
like, and
digital
then
letter,
she did
kinda.
da da da
Yeah.
da, you
Right.
know. So
And she only used the digital letters when she couldn't get their address.
Yeah.
You know, if she
yes,
could get their
yes.
address, they got a real letter. And then, the other thing is that in the beginning of the book, she does start at, like, 73 now. She
Mm-hmm.
does age quite a bit. I was not paying
Yes.
attention to
To
the
the
actual
dates.
date
Oh,
at
yeah, I think
first.
it's like 10 years, but then, I mean, they revisit a lot of things that happened
Mhm.
in her
Right.
past, and
Yes,
Yeah.
so it does
yes.
feel like you get a full picture of her
Of
life.
her and her
Yeah.
marriage, yes.
Mhm.
And so but I did wanna mention, I did write
Oh,
down, as
Wow.
you can see, well, I you guys can't see,
Oh,
but
I know.
these are all the books that are
Yes.
mentioned
oh wow.
within this book,
Yeah.
yes. And
Yes.
I had first started writing them down because there were a few that I had read and that I
Mhm.
had
Mhm.
loved. And the other thing is that in the book she writes to Joan Didion, and I did not know that is a real author.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Because I
cool.
was like, I don't know who you're
Yeah,
talking about.
Yeah.
it was a real author, and her book is real. I looked it up. I could buy it on Amazon if I wanted to. And she
And
also
hopefully small bookstores too.
references
Yeah. I know, right? But she won't because
No,
Amazon is
no,
horrible.
I won't. And she also references Never Let Me Go quite a bit, that book, and that book haunted me
Oh.
terribly.
Mm.
Um, I read it for a book club and I was like, "This is horrible."
Is it scary or just haunted you for other
Is it
reasons?
It
emotional?
so it's haunting because it brings in cloning.
Oh, that's
And
right. She talks
yes,
about
Ooh.
that.
so these people are cloned to be spare parts for their original.
Oh my god,
Oh,
that's crazy.
Creepy too.
yeah.
So
Like Black
they,
Mirror
you
or something.
know,
Yes.
but I mean, I wonder, let me see. Oh, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23,
Riveting content.
25, 26,
Keep all of
27,
the counting
28,
in.
yes, 30, 31, 32, 33 books mentioned.
Wow.
Angel numbers. Oh.
And, uh, and then Ann Patchett, of course, she writes to Ann Patchett. So she actually wrote to those real
Mhm.
authors.
Yeah.
So
Hmm. It reminded me of how a lot of people, when they get married, they've been sending the invitations to celebrities. Just
Yes,
yeah,
just and
because
they'll,
some
like, send
yes,
stuff back,
yeah,
yeah.
they'll send like merch and stuff
oh
sometimes.
wow.
Yeah.
We'll
I
send ours to Sprite headquarters. See what we get.
who drinks a lot of Sprite?
Both of us.
Really? I didn't know you drink a lot of Sprite. Not a lot. I know you
Don't
love
need that at all.
coffee. I know
I
you
do
love
love
coffee.
coffee.
Yeah.
But remember before coffee?
Yeah.
It was all
Yeah.
Sprite
Yeah.
and
Mm.
apple juice. I loved apple juice.
Okay. Speaking of delicious things,
Yes.
so okay, we're getting
I'm
into the
not eating
cookies.
these Oreo
Yes.
looking things. I know they're fake.
Okay.
Hang
Wait.
on,
Wait.
there's hair coming off this one.
Probably from when you coughed all over
Okay.
them. Probably hair went out of your
Okay.
mouth.
So we're trying to find cookies, healthy-ish cookies for mom to replace her, just kind of help her with trying to
My
avoid
sweet tooth.
diabetes.
Yes.
Yeah.
um so we have her, this is a store-bought high key Oreo type cookie. How much carbs and sugar is in this one?
It says 0 sugar.
Ugh.
Ugh.
It's so gross.
Let's see, carbs, 22 grams. So that's kind of up there.
But
Oh,
that's
but
for how many
3
cookies?
cookies. But look how tiny
Yeah,
those
they
Yeah.
are
cookies are.
tiny
Okay.
cookies.
Yeah.
Um
But only 70 calories per.
It
3
is.
cookies. I'm sure if we compare it to, like, a Girl Scout Thin
Yes.
Mint,
Yes,
it's
yes.
probably
Or an actual Oreo,
Okay.
which I know are like 160 calories for
but
2.
they're, like, gluten-free or something.
That is true. But also, mom will not lie and say she likes a cookie if
Yeah.
so it's like if you're on the hunt, if she likes it, then it's gotta be
Okay.
good.
But now let's
Wait.
talk about the other 2 cookies. Am I just taking a cookie?
That was, like,
Okay.
a malfunction. Are you the clone? You're not really you.
Okay. The other cookies on the plate are these sugar cookies for my
Cute.
birthday.
40.
Gosh, don't make me cry.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I ordered these from my favorite sugar sugar your sugar dealer, my sugar dealer in Money, which is not far from where I live, and also the girl from Wicked who is in a wheelchair, she grew
Mm.
up there.
Oh, wow.
Just fun fact. It's a
Oh, I
very
didn't
small
know that.
town, but yeah. Anyway, she is a former teacher. She does a great job. Sunny celebrations. So we'll see. I'll have you try the healthy cookie first, so then you can wash it down with the other
Yes.
one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How is it?
It's pretty dry.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, Oreos, you're not the most. Hand me one. I'll try one too.
Okay. It's just really dry. But the middle's
Well,
good.
let's go.
Yeah, the middle tastes like the normals. It's dry,
You got
right?
work for these bites.
Yeah,
Oh, well, maybe that's good. It makes you
they
chew a
could
lot.
last a lot longer than the real. Because real Oreos, I can pop the whole thing in my mouth. They go down pretty fast. So yeah, these take a lot of energy to chew.
Yeah.
So maybe you lose weight that way.
Okay, so would you buy those on your own?
Yeah, I would.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. All right.
yeah,
They'd sit in her cabinet.
and-
This is for us.
Yeah.
yeah.
Feel soft.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard because the last cookie was so dry and no
Mhm.
sugar, and this is so much
Mhm.
sugar.
Very light.
Yeah, it's a thinner crust. I
Mhm.
like the sugar crust.
Yeah.
Hmm
I like her frosting.
I do too. It's kind of fluffy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But see, this is melting in our mouth,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
unlike the healthy cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are easier to get down.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're supposed to be in our mouth.
Yeah. So now that we got some sugar,
Spoilers.
yeah, ready for some spoilers.
Okay.
I was thinking maybe just like talking about each character and then like how it progresses, you know.
That requires us to remember the characters.
Yeah, because I must say in the beginning of the book, and I don't know if it was because I had to keep putting the book down so much,
Mm.
but I did keep getting mixed up with who's her brother, who
Yeah.
are her kids.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is why the audiobook it's
Mhm.
like such a distinct voice for each character. One thing is, you just read the names.
Yes.
And so I looked up the meaning of some of the names.
Oh,
So Sybil, ironically, it the name
Just me
Sybil
crazy?
means seer.
Oh,
and
that's
she's going
funny.
blind.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Okay.
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. So we find out pretty quickly that main character Sybil, she gets into a car accident. She's like, it's not a big deal, and we find out that she has a progressive eye disease and she's going
Mhm.
blind, which will greatly impact her life because all of her
Ooh.
correspondence and
And whose life wouldn't it impact?
right. Yes,
Yeah,
that's true.
that's a
That's
big
true.
one.
One thing that I really liked is how I feel like most people, if they were retired, divorced, like estranged from their family,
Mhm.
um, and then they get a diagnosis that they're going blind. I feel like most people would just be like, okay, well, it was a good run, And I feel like her life really starts.
Yes,
Mm.
I agree. I agree with that.
So I found that pretty impactful. Okay, so so talking about Sybil, you guys
Mhm.
said you like Sybil.
Mhm.
Yes.
I like that she was so like firm in her ways,
Mm-hmm.
because I would have probably if somebody said, "Oh, I can't write a letter," I would have probably been like, okay,
It's because we
well,
all, like, fawn. We're all
Yes,
like,
yes,
"Oh
we
my
are
gosh, are you
fun.
sure? Are you sure? Do you want to?" Like, "Oh
Yes.
oh, no,
Oh
I'm gonna
my
yeah.
bother
god.
you."
Where
Literally.
she's like, "Fine, don't get a hold of me." You
Yeah.
know?
Right.
Yeah, I really enjoyed her, and I think my favorite correspondence of hers was with the, like,
Besides,
person at the college.
oh, at the
Oh,
college.
Yeah.
that's
Oh.
funny because that was the one that I didn't like.
Oh my god,
But tell
I
me why you
loved it.
liked it.
Because I just think, well, first of all, she made an oopsie. She didn't even realize it at first because she was like, I'm able to take these classes and like I want to make sure that it's still happening to like the dean. And then she was like, I just don't want poetry. I really
Oh,
don't want
yeah.
Oh.
poetry. And then the dean responds back and like puts in like person of poetry or something like that. That's
Yeah.
what her like specialty is in. And Sybil didn't even clock that. And then they like met in person and then they found out that they really have a lot in common and it just she was so like persistent in like getting those classes first of
Mhm.
all and then also just like staying in touch even though I think it was like a while that went by between the letters and
Mhm.
then they like started and then they became friends and they like went
Yes.
to
Yeah.
coffee and all this stuff and like it's one of those things I think especially if you like work somewhere where you're getting like I get a lot of stuff like that all the time where people are
Mm.
like, "Oh, I don't like I want this and I want this." And
Mhm.
then it's like you get those emails or whatever and you're like, "Oh my god, this person is like
Mhm.
it sucks." And
Yeah.
then you meet them and you're like, "Oh, they're not that bad." You know?
Right.
So it
Yes.
That's
just
true.
like it shows that that growth of a relationship between
Yeah.
like a stranger to like coming to an understanding and knowing each other. And then I don't know. I just also thought it was
Yeah.
so funny.
I think it also shows how people can hide behind their keyboard or
Mhm.
their
Yes.
letter,
Yes.
that it's like you're kind of a keyboard warrior,
Yeah,
whatever they
yeah,
call it.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
you have if you're hiding behind something like that, then you're closed off and yeah, once they came face to face, then
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
relationship began. But the thing that I didn't like about it was I feel like she was entitled, in that
Yeah.
so she was kind of feeling like, well, she deserves to do this even though it's not the policy, which I
Oh.
don't agree with the policy. I think that you should be able to,
Yeah.
to take classes,
But what
whatever.
did she mean by auditing the
So
classes?
you could just like go and take the
Yeah.
and just like listen to the lectures and all of that stuff, but not like you don't get a grade. It's not counted
Oh,
on a
see,
transcript or anything
I
like
thought
that.
she was like trying to be like have it as a job. Like she
Oh
was
no.
auditing, like she was,
No.
you know,
She just wants the benefit of the
Yeah.
class, and she's not
oh,
gonna use it to progress her career or
but
anything.
Yeah.
now
She just wants to
should,
learn.
but she should pay for that, right?
Yeah, she was gonna
Yeah.
pay.
Oh,
It
okay.
was it was the problem that I had with it was like, okay, this is Sybil feels like she deserves to have this class, whatever. I agree that she should, but then I think that at some point it should have been, okay, now that we're friends, now I get to do it. But what about the other people? It's like there's
Mhm.
no thought of, "Oh, this should be available to everyone." It's just like, "This should be available to me,
Mm,
and I
gotcha.
deserve it, and once I get what I want, then, like, okay, we're good."
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
just didn't really like that, but
Yeah.
But I would think that, I mean, couldn't she just sign up for school then or something? I mean, or get a credit for it. That would get you around it, wouldn't it? Or
Well,
I
it's
don't
so
know.
expensive,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
and it's
But if she's
And
so
gonna pay for
you have
it,
to be accepted into the school and all. It's like
yeah.
an option for people who wanna, like, continue to learn and, like,
mm,
learn all of this cool stuff, but, like, not have to, like, research it themselves.
Right.
well, I wonder now that I know this can be done, maybe I should do
Oh, do you want to
something.
audit
Yeah.
some classes? What class would you
How
audit?
about you actually retire first, and then we can talk about
Yeah.
it?
Oh my gosh.
And I definitely would have done classes that would help me at work, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is more for, like she clearly loves books and, like,
Yeah, it
all of
was
that
all, like,
stuff, so
about,
it's like
literature,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
the classes, Okay, so let's get into who she writes to. Okay,
Felix, yeah,
yeah,
her
it's from
brother.
Felix.
And that's in 2012.
Okay, so Felix, so I found it interesting so many people that she was close to lived overseas.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
found that
Felix,
interesting.
yeah,
Like family-wise, because
right.
Mhm.
Felix is in France,
Mhm.
and then her daughter
Is
is
in
in
London,
London,
and then
and
Bruce is in France.
then the
Ex-husband,
ex-husband's in Denmark, right?
something I can't remember, but then also, and then
And then the new
sister,
sister is
yeah,
in Scotland. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I loved Felix though.
I did too. I
I
thought it was
remember
so
him.
funny when you know, like, he just storms off and leaves his husband,
Oh
it
yeah,
Oh
was
my
so
god, yeah,
so
that was
drama,
funny.
so drama.
That
I
was
could just
so
so see it,
funny.
yeah.
And then and all over a total misunderstanding.
Yes,
Yeah.
but also when the husband, like, so then the husband writes to Sybil,
Mhm.
and I was just, I remember I was like vacuuming, and I'm like, really, why are you writing your sister-in-law? Like,
Yeah,
this is
because he
just,
really loves
I know,
and
but
knows that it's the way to get back to
yeah,
him.
yeah,
Because obviously he chopped it off,
hmm,
chopped the
yeah,
correspondence off.
yeah,
Cut it off.
Yeah.
yeah.
Not chopped.
Yeah, but I
Oh
think
my
that they start to show, like, because Felix, so when he came out, it sounds like their parents were very understanding, even though the time period was not good,
Mhm.
for that.
Yes, I agree, but I also think since they were both adopted,
Mhm,
that these are people who want children so bad. They
mhm.
will,
Yeah, it sounded like winning the lottery to be adopted by them, like,
yeah,
because
Yeah.
they
yes,
sound great and they
yes,
had a lot of money, it sounds
yeah,
like.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So it's like, obviously they're doing well,
Mhm.
but yeah, so I think that just kinda showed that from an early age, she was accepting of, I wrote it down as, like, other,
Mm.
like, people outside of the norm, which then we see with Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Harry, I feel like, is probably autistic.
Yeah. And also, by the way she was saying he's a lot like me, I wonder if
Yes.
Mhm.
she is as
I think
well, and
so
that's why
too.
she's not this is probably canceled, but, that's why she's so into letters because it's like,
No, I
it's like
Yeah,
agree.
a
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
so
Yes,
could
it's
be like her thing that
mhm.
she
Mhm.
got really into
Yeah.
and why she was so persistent with, like, the lady at the school and stuff and, like,
Right. Well, and she also says herself how, like, she's very straightforward, like, you
Mhm.
know, so the social element of it
Yeah.
is
Mhm.
difficult for her. And so she was always more comfortable writing letters.
Mhm.
Which, yeah,
Oh,
I thought
yes,
that
yes.
too.
I hadn't
Yeah.
thought about that. Yeah.
Hmm. Um, so Harry, the teenager,
Mhm.
he doesn't have a mother figure. So like him and Sybil are, it sounds like Sybil was really good friends with his dad. And so then they kind of just started this penship,
They
and
were kind of work colleagues.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
husband. And I really liked Harry.
I did too.
Yeah.
I love his letter where he was like, "I thought you would get the hint."
Yes.
By me not corresponding with you that I no longer wanted to do this,
Right.
but here you are still sending
Yes.
messages, so
Yes, yes. Well, and I appreciated that he was like, "Okay, it's," well, she was like, These are probably gonna stop because he's getting older, and it's kinda
Mhm.
Mhm.
weird, if we remain,"
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, it is." Like, I'm glad you said that. And
Yeah.
and then there is a moment where Harry's like, "Yeah, I think we should probably stop."
Mhm.
But yeah, I loved Harry.
Mhm.
And then we have Sybil's ex-husband. I
That tugged at
know.
your heart. That was a
Yeah.
heart tug.
You know what I loved, what she said was how she never believed she could have that, like
Mhm.
um, somebody that loved her, because
Yeah.
she felt so different from other
Mhm.
people. So she, like when you say win the lottery, I think she felt she won the lottery with him.
Yeah.
You know
You're
Yeah.
right.
what?
You're right.
Yes.
Okay, got a little teary.
Yes.
We're gonna cry now talking about the
I
book,
know.
but we didn't cry reading
Yes,
it.
yes. Well, I'll tell you when I cried, but
We're
not
gonna be
yet.
like, this
I was
book
too
does not make you cry.
I was too busy to cry before.
Yeah. Now it's hitting you.
Yeah. But I was sad that she didn't write her husband back.
Yeah.
I mean, she did, but she hid the letter.
Yeah.
I was so sad about that.
Yeah. But I think, like, as you were saying, that, like, people aren't perfect. Like, I think
Mhm.
it definitely, it, you love her, but you're also like, why are you doing that? Which I think
Right.
is just like being a human
Yes.
is just, yeah, I'm scared to send this letter, so
Mhm.
I'm just gonna avoid
Yeah,
it.
because
Right.
you can't delete,
Yeah.
Yeah.
before they see it.
Right.
Well, she could have
Yeah.
called him.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
and her not
But
going to
yeah.
the funeral, and that, like, caused a huge
That,
rift with her
yes.
kids.
Yeah.
I was, especially since she was all packed, she was all ready to
Mhm.
go, and then for her not to go, I was surprised at that.
Yeah.
And so that's why I thought there's no way she's going to Texas.
Oh my gosh, I was so glad she didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't okay.
But she ends up going to
To, like,
Texas.
visit,
No,
yeah.
yes,
But
but
she really just doesn't like going overseas,
that's true, yeah.
but
With
she does
all her loved
eventually,
ones
right?
are
Or no?
overseas.
Yeah.
So I do want to say that this book, even though it seems kind of light with the letters, etc., it deals with some
So much.
extreme loss,
Yes.
Yes.
both with her and our neighbor.
Oh my gosh.
The
Okay.
Oh my
neighbor.
gosh.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's
That
get into
story.
Theodore.
Yeah.
He was my favorite character.
Same here. And
Oh.
Mary Kate's too.
Yeah, I
Aw.
did
Yeah.
really like him. I was a
Yeah.
little scared at first.
Yes.
Aw.
When she
Yes.
was walking in the forest and then he was there, I was like, why was he there? But just because
You
there's
read
like
so many thrillers.
I know. Well, there is like a little thriller
Yes.
aspect
Yeah.
Well,
randomly. in
yeah.
this.
Yes.
Which
yes.
we can talk
Which
about
is
that
crazy
after
about that.
Theodore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did grow to absolutely adore Theodore. He
Mhm.
was so cute.
Yes.
Mhm.
And yeah, I just really liked him. But yeah, he dealt with huge trauma.
That's when
His
I
story.
teared up.
Yeah.
Yes, that
Was
was
his
a
story.
tearjerker. Yeah.
And like when you listen to the audiobook,
Oh God.
it's like, I mean,
Don't
okay,
play it for us.
just for a
I'm gonna
minute,
cry.
just for a minute, so you can hear the voices. I feel like it's hard for me to articulate.
Miss Van Antwerp. Merry Christmas.
Okay.
I see your children are in town. Here are
This
some
is
cookies I
Theodore.
thought you might all enjoy.
Oh.
Also, enclosing an article I saw in this morning's Times about the Christmas markets in Germany in the town where I was born.
Mm.
When I was a child, Christmas was a spectacle, but nothing like it is now. No need to return the tin. I find they are useful for storage of things like buttons or bolts.
He's just so cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just like with his accent and then
Mhm.
talking about, you know, his family and being torn away from them. I was just like, oh my gosh, I was
It
Yeah.
was definitely a
yes.
Sophie's choice, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was
Mhm.
horrible.
And then the other thing I found interesting is how they were next door neighbors, but they're writing letters to each other.
Oh yeah.
Kind
Well,
of
I loved the little notes of like with the cakes and stuff that
Uh-huh.
he just leaves it at her door and then she like
Yeah.
can see it.
Well,
and
and
I
it
think
was
that's
kind of
cute.
funny, like in the
Yeah.
beginning, because he was like, "Happy birthday," and then she's like, "How do you know my birthday? I don't know
Yeah.
yours." And he's like, "Well, it's a memorable day," and like that,
Oh yeah.
that was the day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Which is a horrible day in his
right,
life. Yeah.
right. Anything else to say about Theodore besides we love him? And I'm happy that they ended up together
I
in
am
the
too.
end.
Yeah.
I did
So-
not like Mick.
Yeah.
But Mick, I think
Mom has bad taste in men. So
Yes.
anything she said.
you can't say that.
No.
I know.
I know.
We're talking
Well, like
about-
even if we watch Survivor, you're like, I
Yes.
love Russell Hands, and where like he swore on his family that he didn't lie as he lied.
But I think with Mick, it was trying to bring Theodore is steady. He's a steady
Yes.
guy. Whereas Mick was fun. He would laugh, you
He would
know.
probably cheat on her.
Yeah,
you
he
know,
lived in Texas, you know.
Yeah.
So
Mom would have chose Mick, I feel.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I would have thought Theodore was trying to kill me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But did you find that interesting that here it is where she hasn't had anybody for quite a while,
Right.
and now she's got
She's
two?
like in a love triangle.
Yeah.
She could have also, like, we're just diving in at this age. This could be a thing that happens to her pretty often, you know?
Mm.
Oh,
Who's to
that's
say
true.
I
Yeah.
think
that
she would
she's
have
been
written
so
about it,
alone?
though.
Well,
Or
we put
one her
that in
friend would
there.
have been, "Oh, that Mick is just like so and so,"
Yeah,
you know?
maybe.
Mm.
I don't know. I think she's a lively gal.
Yes, yes. Speaking of the friend, I did love the
Mhm.
friend a lot too.
Rosalie?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
I loved Rosalie. I
Mhm.
I felt
loved
so bad for her though when like Sybil was upset at her and like
Oh,
wanted to talk to her and it was
Yes.
like a very serious time in her life.
I
Yeah.
I
know.
felt really bad.
Yes. I felt bad for Rosalie. I felt
Yeah.
like Sybil really let her down,
Yeah.
you know?
Mhm.
And you knew Rosalie would take her back,
Right.
you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah. I think that's why like some of the bad reviews that there's not a lot of bad reviews,
Yeah.
but it seems like people either love or hate the book, and most people love it, but the people that hate it don't like Sybil, and a lot of it is I think that they're triggered from
Mm.
what I've read about like, oh, they know somebody that's just like that. And I
Yeah,
think
Mhm.
yeah.
it's kind of a lot with the Rosalie I could see. And like her
Mhm.
kids and like
Yeah.
being mad at her daughter, for
Mhm.
being mad at the mom.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was
For
just not
confiding in someone else
yes,
Yeah,
and yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Whereas I was just thinking, I mean, Mary Kate's the godmother of my kids. Some we've done in the church, others just like, okay, now you're the godmother.
Yeah.
By
So
default.
some
Yeah.
official, some
Yeah. Yeah. But like my whole what I care most about that and having a good relationship with my family is that I don't want my kids to feel like they can only come to me. I
Right.
feel like
Mhm.
there's
Mhm.
times where they won't be able to come to me and I
Mhm.
want them to be able to go to other people. And I feel
Yes.
like that's what I was hoping Sybil how her reaction would
Mhm.
be. It's like, "Oh, I'm so sad to hear all this, and I'm so glad that she had you to go to
Yeah.
because look at what
Yeah.
she's been dealing with infertility,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
Mhm.
all of this." And her first reaction was a little bit of a narcissistic reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. There's definitely and there's people who are like that who would just like
Right.
take that super personal
Oh,
Mhm.
totally.
and do
Totally.
she did not respond correctly as you
Right.
should,
Right.
but I
But
still
yeah,
love her.
so is human. One thing I really loved about her friendship with Rosalie was how like they went back in time and for the first correspondence that they did
Mhm.
and they have
Yeah.
always said
Yes.
like, "What are you reading?"
Yes, I
Yes.
loved that
Yeah.
because that
Yes.
is also like if I have friends who are readers, that's like how we talk. It's like,
Yes.
what are you reading? How'd you
Yes.
like it?
Yes.
Yes.
What's on the TBR? What's going
Mhm.
on? Like all of that stuff. And I think that's such a nice way to connect with people too.
Mhm.
If I'm just meeting someone and I find out that they read,
Oh,
I'm like,
yes.
"Oh,
Yeah.
great. That
Mhm.
now
Right.
I have a conversation that I can talk
Yep.
about."
Mhm.
If they don't read, then I'm like, "I hope you like women's sports." 'Cause that's my only
That's
other personality.
So the other thing I was thinking with Rosalie because they were sister-in-laws because they
Right.
both married the brothers,
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
but they were connected before they married the brothers.
Mhm.
Right.
We don't really find out how they met the brothers or
Yeah.
how that came to be.
And
Yeah.
that time period before her son dies must have been so fun,
Yes.
to
Yes.
be like
Yes.
best
Yes.
friends and your
Yeah.
husband. I mean, I guess the loss of her son probably played into the divorce more than anything.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes. Yes.
And
Definitely.
everything. I mean, it feels like it
Everything
just
her
paralyzed her for a
yeah,
long
Yeah.
time.
her relationship with her other children,
Mhm.
Mhm.
I can't imagine. I couldn't. And nobody like I couldn't imagine how I would react either,
Right.
Mhm.
except to be in pure and utter grief.
Right.
But yes, I loved Rosalie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very cute. Good to have that friendship. I'm always impressed by friendships that last like a really long time like
Yes.
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
Well, and I think she really showed that like loving somebody is telling them the hard things.
Yes.
Yes.
In the book All About Love by Bell Hooks, I That isn't my favorite book. There's, like, some things I loved, and majority of it, I was like, "Okay, girl." But one of the things I loved, and a line that I repeat to myself all the time is that, like, love is telling the truth, and I think a
Mhm.
lot of the times we tell, like, little white
Mm.
lies here and there to, like, because we think people it'll make them feel better, but,
Mhm.
like, if someone is coming to me and be like, "Oh, when I did X, Y, and Z, like, did you feel some type of way about that?" I'm trying to be better at being like, "Yes,
Mhm.
it did hurt my feelings," instead of I know,
Oh.
and
Oh my god,
this
she's
is
like
where I
having an
get it
anxiety
from.
attack over
I
here.
I
know,
know.
I know, because I think
Oh
telling the
god.
truth to people is a form of love and not just,
Yes.
like, hiding things to make everybody feel better, which I know is giving her an anxiety attack
No, what
because
it
she's not good
is
at that.
because I feel like when you're saying tell the truth,
Mhm.
I feel like my truth is false. So if somebody said, "How do you feel about that?" I feel like my thoughts on it are like wrong.
Is that because you've been gaslit so many times in your life?
You know,
Like,
like
why do you feel like it's wrong?
just that
Like
I've just always felt
Like
that
you feel
way.
like if you have a different opinion that there must be something wrong with your thinking.
Yeah, like you're wrong, you know.
Well, the one thing to think about is that your feelings are separate from your thinking. So like there's no way that you can feel wrong. The way
I
that you
just
feel is
feel
just
scared though.
but then you can say that. I guess. Well, I guess it depends on the situation. If somebody's like, "Should I use a flathead at work or something?" and you're like, "I feel scared." That might be a little awkward. But
yeah, I think you need to unpack that one.
yeah.
I don't know what
Yeah,
that
I think
stems
I
from.
think we all have like confrontation. I feel like I don't have confrontation issues when it comes with sticking up for other people.
I
Mm.
I
agree
just
with you
yeah,
on
I
that.
have a hard time with like myself. Um
Cuz
I
I always remember when you called the police that time.
mhm.
And you were right. If I had been in your situation, I would have been like, "Oh, I don't have a right to do this. I
Mhm.
cannot do this." You know, and then even for the police to say that you were right,
Mhm.
you
Well,
know.
that's because I utilize the local library and
I
I
get
rented
it.
out a book all about renters' rights and I
Wow.
read about what our rights were. And so I knew that,
And I just didn't want to get kicked out with
well, yeah,
a
I
Yeah.
bunch of
mean,
kids, you know.
I
You
didn't
were in
have that.
survival mode.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I didn't have that thought as a
Mhm.
like 12-year-old of,
Mhm.
in my head, it's like, well, good, we get kicked out, we find somewhere better.
Yeah.
I didn't
Right.
have to worry
Yeah.
about coming up with rent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or acceptance with a bunch of kids, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so Bassam.
Yes.
I
Oh,
love
yes.
Bassam is so
Bassam.
well, I also just I love her because she's such a crazy little lady where she was, like, emailing their, like, help email and
Yes.
being like, "For Bassam,"
Yeah.
and,
Yes.
like, and that
Yes.
they somehow would, like, just forward it to him
Oh, yeah.
instead of,
Yes.
like, a
They were
different person.
probably happy she wanted to
Yeah.
speak with him. They're
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
"You deal with this." But how crazy first of all, I loved how she found out about his life
Yeah.
Yeah.
because everybody you encounter, they all have a life. They all have
Mhm.
issues. They all have problems, you know. They also have, good things in their life too,
Mhm.
you know. So I love hearing about people, learning
Yeah.
about people. So she got to learn about him, but then she got him to lose his job too.
I know,
I
that was
know.
so fun. Well, that was kind of stupid of him to send his resume to her
Well,
through
also
that.
though, like she was a lawyer. Like
Yes.
there were things that she was asking him to do that she should have known that he could get in trouble for like releasing
Yes.
information
Yes.
and stuff. So that was kind of like the entitlement type.
Oh, I
Um,
agree with you on that.
well, and the other thing was, like, I thought it was funny. I appreciated that the book did this, that right away she was like, "Oh, it's so nice to talk to an Indian that knows English."
Oh,
And then
yeah.
he's like, I first of all, I appreciated that they put that in because that is something that a lot of the older generation or
Yes.
like, I
Like,
mean, I guess just
Yes.
people in
assuming
general might
Yeah.
assume.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that he responded with grace and was like, actually, I'm Syrian. He called her
Yes.
out on that she was
Yes.
Yeah.
wrong,
Mhm.
but like then she grew from that
Yes,
experience.
I
And
agree.
Yeah.
I feel like this is what I said I wanted to talk about earlier was like
Okay.
people some people might look at that exchange and think like, "Oh my gosh, she's such a like a Karen. She's such a like,
Okay.
whatever."
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the thing is that 30 years from now, all people are going to regret something that they did or said because everybody's a victim of their times. So
Mhm.
like
Yes.
what we think is okay and acceptable now, it's
Oh,
going to
yes.
Yeah.
change and
Yes.
we're going to think back and cringe. Hopefully that means that you've
Yes.
grown. If
Yes.
you hold
Yeah.
on to that, then like
Oh, you're so smart.
So smart.
well, I mean, I just think like, okay, an example, because I was thinking about this the other day as I was driving, and I was like, something now that is widely accepted is circumcision.
Mm.
Okay.
Something that I feel like maybe in 20 years, 30 years, people are going to look back and be like,
So
I
you were
can't
thinking about
believe.
circumcision as you were driving?
Well,
What audiobook were you listening to?
oh my God. No, I was just thinking, like, okay, people will probably be like, ew, I can't believe that people mutilated boys' bodies
Yes.
without their consent.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like, so yeah, it's like we're all a victim of thinking that things are right and it's going to change. And
Mhm.
so I think that she's such a good like representation of she is a progressive woman, but she's still like a victim of her times, but she's
Yeah.
Yes.
growing from it.
It's
Yes.
like that reel where it's like your mom is trying to be woke, but is like having a hard time. It's I can't even think of any of the quotes. I just know I was dying of laughter because she'd be like, "Oh, Jamie, they go by they them now. Yeah, she was so cute the other day." Like, it's just
Oh
like
my gosh,
they're
yes.
trying so hard, but then
Yes.
it's like they go back into their
Yes.
like
Yes.
natural.
It's
But
hard.
I liked about that is that a lot of those exchanges would end with her being like with her comment, and
Mhm.
then the person would never respond and be like, "Oh my god, this person said this like totally inappropriate thing to me," and it would end there. But because their correspondence continued,
Mhm.
he also learned about her, she learned
Right.
Yes.
about him,
Yes.
and they built this relationship, and that's how people grow
Mhm.
Yes.
and stuff. And it's not on him to help her grow,
Right.
but that's how like we create community and stuff is we
Mhm.
Yeah.
kind of like
Mhm. Definitely.
meet each other in the middle and
Right.
Yes.
learn from each
Mhm.
other.
Well, and I also appreciate that she recognized that he could do so much more than what he was
Yeah.
doing.
Mhm.
And like
Mhm.
who else in his life maybe, like
Yeah.
I think you don't know if you're the only person that is saying like
Mhm.
kind things to somebody, so it's like just with complimenting even,
Yeah, yeah.
somebody that you don't know just oh, I love your hair.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
instead of overthinking it, I guess I'm just like, well, maybe that's the only nice thing someone will say to them that day. You
Right,
just don't
yeah.
know.
Mhm.
Yeah. Although sometimes I'll be driving down the street, there's a girl with a cute outfit, and I'm like, "Oh, I wanna scream out the window," and I'm like, "No, that's catcalling, you
Yeah,
can't do
yeah.
that," but, like,
Oh, wow.
their outfits are so cute sometimes, and I'm like, "Oh my god, that's such a cute outfit," but I can't scream
Yeah.
out the window.
Okay, so anything else with Bassam? I loved him. I
No, I
loved
love
their
Yeah, I
him.
like them.
relationship.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, okay. So,
What about cutting the flowers?
oh yeah, we didn't even
Yeah.
get into that because I was gonna say then like
That
with
was the
Hattie and stuff.
thriller.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thriller
Yeah,
The,
I was
like,
part.
disappointed with the
scary part
thriller.
of it.
You were?
Well,
Yeah.
because it was just kind of like, okay, he's basically after watching worst ex ever or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
just
he
like,
did nothing.
yeah, I'm like, okay, this guy is really escalating. Like he's
Yeah.
coming to her
Mhm.
house, he's cutting her
Yeah.
flowers, and then
But
all of a
that was
sudden,
so funny to have every single flower head cut off.
I mean, it's
It
terrifying
could be
though.
terrifying, but it was also kind of funny because, but it probably hit home even more since she was a gardener,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you know,
Oh yeah, because
both
she had
her
that
and her
garden
neighbor.
club like
Yeah.
kind of Karen
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, the gardening club.
Those-
It was just reminding me of, like, your
Quilting,
quilting
I know,
stuff,
I
and I
know.
was like, "Oh, it
I
gets
was thinking,
so
yeah,
drama.
because,
serious."
yes,
So much
because
drama.
I almost quit the quilting club when that lady yelled at me about my label.
Well, okay, so not just sidebar, but there's a book coming out in September. I can't remember what it's called or who it's by. Don't ask me those things. I think it's called like Stitch something. But this guy, he went to his like mom's quilting club and there was a bunch of drama in it and he used it as inspiration. Like he would go every
Oh.
week to and like ask them, "Hey, can I write a book that's like loosely based on you guys and like the drama that
Is it
occurs here?"
true?
It's not
Oh,
true, but he
it could
like
be.
yeah, it was inspired a lot by like all the
Oh,
drama that happened in his mom's quilting club. And
oh, wow.
I saved it. It's in my phone somewhere because I'm
Oh
getting that
yeah.
book.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so a quilt always has a little label on it,
Right.
like who made it,
Mhm.
etc. Well, this was the first quilt that I was putting into a quilt show.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And so I just safety pinned
Okay.
the
Yeah.
label on the back, it was on there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she yelled at me because of I hadn't sewn it on.
Oh no.
And I figured it's not going to fall off. It has
Right.
safety pins.
Yeah.
And so it had to be sewn on. And I was just like horrified.
Aw.
And so Greg starts yelling about, listen, she's been working,
Aw.
like because I had been working
That's why
so
you need a
much.
Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, her husband had just like passed away. So
Oh my
she's like,
god.
we've had husbands pass away and we can still sew our labels on. Yes.
Oh my god.
So it was a horrible. It wasn't funny. It was very horrifying.
I just am like imagining like just you guys yelling at each other about labels and it's like I don't know, maybe you shouldn't be sewing labels on when your husband died. Maybe you
Yes.
should be grieving.
So to me, it was like, first of all, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
this was my first quilt in a show. And I didn't even know it was hard to even make a label. Like I didn't
Mm.
know how you do this or whatever. And then the so I wasn't yelling because I was just like, oh my gosh, like
Fawning.
Yes.
yeah, crying,
Aw.
and
That's the
so I
scared. Yeah.
really
Mentioned
did
earlier.
not want, like my first instinct, like,
You were gonna grab your coat and
yeah,
run.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so now
That's
I
always
think we should practice. I'm I'm the label lady. And now what should you say? How can you stick up for yourself? Okay.
Okay, you say how you would do it, and
what
I'll say
what
how I would do
what
it.
I would
Okay.
do, grab the
Wait, I have
quilt.
to be the label lady first.
Okay.
No, but you're practicing using your voice, not doing
Yes.
what you
Yeah.
normally do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I can't believe that you safety pin this on. You have to sew them on. That is what you do in a quilt show. What are you thinking?
I'm so stupid. I'm so sorry.
Okay, here's what you should say, Mom. Get a grip. It's a quilt show. So the opposite. My face would say everything before anything comes out of my mouth. I would give her the
God.
weirdest look, and then I'd call my friend to be like, "Come yell at this lady for me because she's
And
crazy."
I was ready to get my thread and needle out
Oh
and
my
start sewing it
God.
on.
It truly, I just think of so many things where I'm just like, it's really not that serious.
No.
That's what you have to remember. You
Yeah.
really do. And it's a hard thing to remember,
Mm.
because like with me, I internalize it so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you need to be like reflective back. And I think that's a good line to say is like
Get a grip.
Oh, I was thinking it's really not that serious.
Yeah.
But because the other thing, a tactic to do is to ask a question back, so
Mhm.
then you're like bouncing it back. So just to be like, well, why is that necessary? And then they have to answer that question and be like, okay, actually, it doesn't make sense why we
Oh,
do this.
but there is such a thing as quilt police.
Oh
And
my
this is how it comes.
That's why mom's so scared she's gonna be in handcuffs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so on to Gilbert dying. That's all. So that's like
Okay.
all we have left, really. Sadly.
Well, I feel like sad, yeah.
Yeah.
So
well,
Gilbert was the husband?
No,
no,
the
Gilbert was
Oh,
the
the
son.
child. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really
Who
sad.
was also cult.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you
That's
find out that she's writing all of these, the more like intimate letters she's writing to him.
the unsent
Yes, the
ones.
unsent
Yes.
letters.
Yeah.
And then in the end, I think that's probably when most people cry because I did also tear up just
Mhm.
her final letter to because I was gonna play just a little bit because that one should be easier to find.
Oh yeah, this is the one where she
Oh, she crossed
crosses
out a
out,
lot.
so you can also see.
Yes.
Those were only in the unsent ones, right?
Well, I
No,
couldn't
because
see
Dear
cross out
Dan.
stuff.
Yeah.
I couldn't see cross out stuff.
Did they like acknowledge any of this?
No.
Oh, you should
Oh
read that.
wow.
So
June
was
2015.
this it? I don't know.
July 2015.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
August 2015.
It goes all the way to
September.
2022.
Yeah.
Dear Dan,
Oh wait. So that's
do
not.
you remember me sitting
No.
long hours at the writing desk? Here I am still, as if nothing has changed.
And then she
Oh.
crossed that out.
Oh, and then she goes.
Has changed.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
I
those
have tried
little
always to say
Yeah.
exactly what I mean, or to come as close to accuracy as the English language
I tried to
allows.
forward it.
Words have rarely failed
So
me.
Theodore
And yet,
is the one who writes the last letter.
Right
You
to the
knew?
daughter.
Oh,
who
yeah.
else will keep my memories and my stones when you
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like how they said stones for secrets. Which
Yes,
was
I like
interesting
that
because that was the last name of the parents, wasn't it? Weren't they the Stones?
Yes, I think when I was reading and then it was the letter from Theodore saying that she has passed. I was like, you know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I love that Theodore was transcribing her letters.
Oh, yeah.
That is just so
Yes,
like
I
yes.
also
love, you
thought
know.
that it was funny how it's like, well, it
There was
was like a
one that he
joke.
was like, "This is very strange of me
Yes.
to
Yes.
be writing
He would
this."
put little postscripts in there too.
Yes.
Yes,
You know, I
yes.
say hi also or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
like the friend or whoever was writing
Yes,
saying like,
yeah.
"Oh, I guess, he doesn't have to tell you like he could be not truthful of what I'm
Yes,
saying."
Yeah.
Just kind of
yes.
joking, but that was
Yeah.
cute. Yes. Oh, I loved Theodore. I love the name Theodore too because
Yeah,
a
that's
lot of people
cute.
say Teddy.
Mm-hmm.
Or Theo.
Yes. Well, was there anything else anybody wanted to say about the son and like the ending and
I think so the guy who's like stalking
oh
her.
yeah, we didn't talk much about that.
Yeah, I think the mistake that she made, I think the saying like hurt people is very
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
And she was going through such a hard time and that had a very lasting impact on that person and their
Yes,
whole family.
yes.
And it shows that like, hey, you should take time off. If you
Right.
like you need
Yes.
to take time to heal before you
Mhm.
can go back to do
Yes.
especially such a big job.
Yeah.
And that she was writing the dad while he was in prison. I thought
Mhm.
that was very
Yeah.
interesting.
Right.
So it brought me to a real life story that I know.
Oh.
But a friend of the family, their child died, and he was a policeman in like what at that time was considered Cabrini Green. And so he went into work and his partner was warning the residents, his child has just died, just like if you don't have any business with them, just stay inside, you know? So, like, don't antagonize this man at this time because you're going to get it back tenfold.
Mm.
You know, they had to go there to arrest somebody.
Mm.
And so, that always stuck with me,
Hmm.
you know, and the death of the child also had a lasting impact on the siblings.
Mm.
And they are the first ones
Right.
to say that, you
Mhm.
know. So,
Yeah, I mean, I
but
did.
it's real world consequences
Right.
because of what you're going through. And I felt sorry for that family because they were just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
You know, the mother and the children.
Mhm.
The father, obviously, because even when he gets out of prison, he goes and does kind of the
Mhm.
same thing.
Well, and I think prison
Yes,
changes you,
yes.
you know,
It
so it's also
perpetuates it. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like because he was arrested for like drugs,
Like
right? Or was
burglary or
it
something.
No, he
What
was
was it?
delivering stuff.
Oh, okay.
delivering?
Probably the mob.
All right, mom. Well, how his son was acting. Um, but I think it's like, especially if it was like weed or something, you know, like that times have changed so much.
Right.
Yes.
And so like for something that's like, especially now, it's not as serious to go into prison, your whole life has changed. You get
Mhm.
out,
Mhm.
it's systematically created so that you can't get a job.
Right.
Mhm.
You
Right.
can't like have this life after prison. It's like once you're in the system, you're always in
Mhm.
some type of
Mhm.
system. You're never free after you leave. So it's like, you know, he
I
was
think
forever changed.
I think I read that book like Reefer Madness or something where I mean people and people in Indiana especially were
Mhm.
being sent to prison for 25 years for having a little bit of pot on them and now it's legal.
Right.
Yeah,
You
Right.
know.
Well,
So
see, time
I
victim
know.
of the
but
times.
but so here's a question about it though too. At the time they did it, it was illegal. So even though I feel like that was too harsh of a sentence, they knew going in it could be this sentence.
Mhm.
And so they were trying to release all those people from prison. So do you say, oh, well, times have changed, so we'll let you go? But
Yeah.
Yeah.
the person who dealt the weed knew he was doing wrong at the time, but did it
But
anyways.
how do you know like for sure? Because there's also people who grow up in like that is the norm. That's the only way you can make money.
Hmm.
That's the only way you're making livable money. So like yes,
Yeah.
it's
Well, but
wrong, but
also the bottom line is that you're in prison because you broke the law. If the
Yes.
law does not exist anymore,
yeah.
the reason for you to be in prison is
Hmm.
void.
Hmm.
Yes. Ooh, I'd like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Okay.
Okay.
tied
We'll
it
go
up
to,
in a
yeah.
cute little bow.
Okay. I was going to say the ending, just like I loved how it all tied up. I love that she really started living. And I thought it
Yes.
was like ironic that she's losing her sight, but then
Yes.
like starting to see like, because it really was all about like forgiveness. Like
Hmm.
she had
She
to,
forgave everybody.
well, she apologized
Yes.
too.
Apologize.
And
Yes.
that's what like really allowed her to have freedom,
Um,
was apologizing.
I don't know if I could apologize. I mean, I would do it if I saw you.
yeah.
I don't, and I know they do this in the STEP program too with Alcoholics Anonymous and stuff like that, where they have to go back and apologize.
Right. That's true.
And so it's a big thing for healing, but
What do you feel like you need to apologize for?
well, I don't know. Probably not being at the sales bureau.
Oh my
Oh,
God, no.
I mean, I
that
feel
was
like
so hard.
I think I'm a very forgiving person, and so, like, I think of, like, with our dad, I'm like,
Mm.
if he were I've always said, if he
Mhm.
was to show up at the doorstep and be, like, sincerely, because there's a
Mhm.
difference between just saying sorry and be
Yes, I agree.
sincerely apologetic is changing your behavior,
Mhm.
and I feel like I would have no problem being like,
You've
"Okay."
always said that. You have said that from day one. If he knocks on my door, I'm opening
Now,
it.
also, it's easy to say that because he will never do that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I do feel like, like, the whole theme of this book really is just people make mistakes, and
Yes,
it's
yes.
part of like, nobody is immune from making mistakes and doing wrong things,
Mhm.
and it's just part of our journey as humans, and yeah, but
What did you think about how, Gilbert died?
I feel like I would've reacted like Sybil of just like, "Yeah, that was totally my fault."
Yes,
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
and I would not be able to move forward, like,
Yeah, I
I
would also
yeah.
struggle very hard because I
Mhm.
mean, it was on her,
Because
you
I
know?
feel like, Mom, you were always so busy working, but I can just imagine you, like, with Kendall going, "Okay, I'm gonna do this," blah, blah, blah," and I feel like you would still be like, "Get down from that rock!" And so I feel like it wasn't just that she put work for it was like she really was, pulled out of her life so much,
Mhm.
like, she was there physically,
Mhm.
but she wasn't it was on her, like you
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think too, if I had, like, the paperwork to do, she was doing paperwork,
Mhm.
then I would've, probably not even gone down to the dock.
Right.
Mhm.
Because I always took a book and everything when we went to the
Yeah.
beach, but you guys were still lathered up, and I made sure,
Right.
I wasn't reading if you guys were in the water. I was
Yeah.
usually in the water with you,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
But and I'm also pretty good at pointing out the dangers of life
Yes. Well,
ahead of
yes.
time.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah,
Which
no,
is
we've
why we
always said
all
that.
have anxiety, so
Yeah.
it's like it shows up in other ways, but
Yeah.
we're alive, but we're
Yes.
anxious.
Okay, so
Okay.
here are my favorite quotes. Um, so first of all, there are some because I think what caused me to love Sybil so much is her little mannerisms that reminded me of grandma as
Yeah.
well. And one of them was where she said, she was talking about growing older, and she asked whoever she was sending this to, like, what their thoughts on the matter are, because she went completely gray and she was like talking about getting older. And she was like, for me, it was always at these sorts of events when I wished for a bit of height, how I loathe
Oh,
my
yes.
height. And it's not a miracle I'm asking for. I don't need to be 6 feet tall like yourself, but 5'5" or 6 would have been nice. Which I
Yes.
think grandma is always talking
Yes.
about her height and how she's shrunken with age and
Yes.
how
Yes.
it's like embarrassing to her to be that small,
Yeah.
which is what
Yeah.
Sybil was saying too.
And she always said she would say she was 5'2", and then she'd say she was actually 5'1 3/4".
Yeah.
How do you even measure 3/4 of
Yeah.
an inch?
And then she was talking to Harry, Miss Sybil, and she said, I read an article in the Wall Street Journal about a musical artist who lives by a saying, which is F the haters
Oh.
or
Oh,
beep the
Yeah, I was
haters.
gonna
yes.
say.
Uh, that is a filthy word. However, the sentiment is such forceful simplicity is rather catching. And I thought that
Yes.
is such a cute
Yes.
way to say it. Um, the next one I have where she was talking about writing letters. She was
Mhm.
probably talking to Harry about it. But she said, when you rush, you pen things you didn't mean and you
Mhm.
tire. It takes patience to say exactly what one means, to think of the right word. So I just liked the way she said that of
Mhm.
like, it takes patience to say exactly what you mean
Yeah.
and like not rush anything.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I thought that was a good nice way to say it and about like saying what you mean. I have two more. So the one so Harry had recently moved in with her and she was talking about how strange life has become. Like now she has this teenager living in her house and all this stuff. And she is reflecting on her life and she said, have I been lonely? I wouldn't have ever said that. But now that I sit here thinking,
Mm.
I wonder, was I always lonely?
Mm.
I'm not sure I've ever felt at home in this world. but I'm not sure
Yeah.
that's unique. And I thought that was such a interesting reflection that I think a lot of people do have, where she's saying that's not unique, but you also don't realize like how lonely you are. And especially when you're spending each day just surviving, you don't realize that until you get to a place where you're like, oh, I love this life so much, you know? So I think that was a great little reflection that she did.
Yeah.
And then the last one I have, is I just really love this quote, and I truly resonate with it, where she said, I have found it to be absolutely astounding all the trouble living has turned out to be.
Yes.
Like I just
Like,
want
how
to
annoying.
yeah, and just like how hard it is to to keep going sometimes. I just
Yes.
I love the way she like writes these things, and
Yeah.
it's because she's taking the time to write it
Yeah.
out. But those were my favorite quotes that I
Very
really
good.
loved. Mom, you have some. Are you
Yeah.
gonna
Oh,
talk
no.
about them?
No.
No
No.
quotes from you?
Mm.
Keep your secrets.
Okay, I have I know you think of me as your mother only, but please remember inside I am also just a girl.
Oh, I did love that
Yeah.
one too, because just a
It's like,
girl.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah, I think that, and that is so something with growing up. You realize that,
Yes.
like, oh,
Oh, what?
this is a human right here.
Right, right. Yeah.
Well, I always used to love it how you guys would ask the store people if where their bed was because you thought they lived in the store. You know?
Oh my
Mom
gosh.
was like, these stupid,
I know, I was just thinking,
my
well, how
stupid
dumb were
children.
we?
Yeah. I know.
And you just laughed. You're
Yeah.
like, what?
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And then this I definitely could relate to with how busy I've been. I didn't know it was happiness at the time because it felt like busyness and exhaustion and
Yes.
financial stress and self-doubt. And I'm like, "Oh my
Yes.
gosh, that is so true," because like also even though things are crazy,
Mhm.
it's still getting quieter because my kids are getting older and I'm
Yeah.
like, I know one of these days it's just going to be like
Yep.
and
Yes.
I'm going to be like, "Oh my gosh."
Yep.
That reminds me of The Most Fun We Ever Had by Claire Lombardo, where
Mm.
it's like, first of all, that book is so long. But it's very much of that, of the whole book is based on this line she says in the beginning where she's like is like on her third child or something, and they're like, "Oh, how are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, it's the most fun we've ever had." And it's like not, but it has that same
Oh,
reflection.
yes. Oh, this one.
Oh,
I have a
yeah.
hard time like saying quotes and not getting teary-eyed, like no matter
Wow.
what the quotes are. I don't
It's
know
because we
why.
have sensitive eyes.
I know. Yeah.
It's a surprise.
So this was with Theodore.
Aw.
Knowing you has been like coming in from the cold, lonely road to find a warm fire and a table laid. I'm like, oh,
That's so
Yes.
cute.
I
Yes.
know.
But remember that was actually written by a woman and to
Yes,
lower the expectation.
I think it was from her to him, but it could be the other way around. But
You mean from him to her? But
no, I think it was from her to him.
oh, she wrote it to him.
Yes.
I
I
think
thought you were
so.
saying he wrote it to her.
I think so, but but either way, it's a woman writing it because of the author.
Right, that's why I was
Okay,
saying, like, if he
gotcha.
said it, it's actually,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Okay.
but
Remember,
isn't that nice?
yeah, it is so sweet. Remember, words, especially those written, are immortal. Um, so I liked that whole idea, because it could be good or bad.
Mhm,
Also, it reminded me of the place we stayed at in Minneapolis, the grandpa's place.
mhm.
So that was like a time capsule of a
Mhm.
bed and breakfast or Airbnb, and they had his like journal where he would just every day write like dates and like what they did,
Oh,
and it
wow.
was fascinating.
Mhm.
I feel like more so than any of the other things, and like there's like 100 Bibles in the
Yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah.
place, but like that just felt so personal
Yeah.
Yeah.
to like read. Oh, his whatever his wife's name was, like she's sick today, and like
Mhm.
like their son brought some soup, or
Mhm,
just
And
like a
yes.
things what
glimpse.
do they have things in there what they cost or no?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I just remember
But
more
I
like
just
dates
remember
and
it was so tiny.
yes,
It was
and
the
such good
tiniest.
handwriting for a
Yes,
guy.
Oh my
yes, and it
god.
was just the tiniest little book.
Yeah.
But yeah, how cruel life is only this long. Now that I see clearly, which is ironic,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'd like more time.
Yes. Yeah, because I think
Mhm.
she held herself back a lot,
Yeah.
especially with, like,
Mhm.
going overseas and, like
Mhm.
and even, like, the family, the DNA, when, like,
Yes.
that came in and
Right.
stuff, like, she was very against it
Yeah.
and was like, "I don't need to know, like,
Mhm.
all this stuff," and she was offended that they got her the DNA thing
Right.
too, and then once there was that little oopsies and she got drunk, that was so funny that she got drunk and accidentally clicked the
Yes.
box to do it. Um, and then, like, once that happened, she was like, "Maybe I am a little curious.
Right.
And then it just created this whole new connection. And it's all these, like, little human experiences. It's so cute.
Mhm.
Okay. So overall, I thought it was a great pick.
Yeah.
Mhm. I do too.
We are off to go pick our June book.
Yeah.
And
But I think the biggest, like, curiosity of being a human is wondering if you're doing it right. And so being able
Oh,
to,
so
like,
profound.
say things. See, like, all these other different ways that
Yeah.
people are living and stuff, it's nice to be like, "Oh, so that's how you're doing it." Like
Yeah.
okay, that is such a good point because I feel like um y- I like things that are kind of like voyeuristic. You know,
Yeah.
like I'm
Yes.
always when I go to somebody's house, I always want to look in their
Yes.
fridge. I'm
Yeah.
always like,
In
what
their
do you
fridge.
yes, I'm like,
Oh
what
my
do you
god.
like how do you organize your fridge? What do you have in here? How are you living? Like and
She'd
I
open mine and be like, "Oh, I'm doing great."
well, I just feel like,
Yeah.
I'm sure it isn't just our experience, like in the like
Mhm.
because the way that we grew up, I was always kind of like, well, how are the normal people doing it?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
sure like Sybil says, everybody probably feels like,
Yeah.
am I doing it
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah.
yeah, so interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was like being a fly on the wall.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
which I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite kind of books. I know there's, like, books that are, like, there's crazy stuff happening and all this stuff, but, like, Jojo Moyes is one of my favorite authors, and it's just, like,
Normal.
being in someone else's
Right.
life and what are they doing with it and
Yeah.
stuff, and
Hmm.
I don't know, I like that kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
We will let you guys know what our next pick is.
Yes.
Please let us know if you read The Correspondent,
Yes.
what your
Yes, oh
thoughts
my
Yes.
are.
god, who your
Yeah.
favorite character
Yes.
Favorite
was.
Do you
characters.
love or
Yes.
hate Sybil?
Mhm.
Yes.
And I don't know what else.
Write us a letter.
Yeah, right. Okay, well,
Okay.
we need to go country line dancing and pick our book, and
Yes.
Mom needs to sign us off.
Happy birthday
Me
to
too.
you.
Happy
Yes, the actual singer.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
I'm trying not to be depressed about turning
Yes.
40. And like one thing
Look, you could
I
still
heard
have a love triangle at
yes,
70.
I know. I heard somebody say like if they were 80, they'd be like wishing for this
Yes.
age.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm trying to cope with it. Like,
All
Yes.
right.
so
Yes.
You're doing
okay.
great.
Okay, so it's time for me to get my cowboy or
All right, we're getting cowboys on. Good thing the boys are going to the baseball field.
All right, Mom, you might want to redo that.
it's time for me to get my cowboy boots on.
Why wouldn't you do cowgirl boots?
Yes. Time for me to get my boots on. So therefore I gotta push that button.
Okay.